Hi, my name is Jackson. I appreciate you taking the time to watch my video. I want to talk to you about campaign contributions. It seems as we go to all this trouble to find a candidate for the Republican Party, they spend all their time absorbing money from us. It seems like all these candidates want our money. And recently I found out that when Herman Cain got out of the campaign, he had over $12 million in his coffers that he was just going to give to another candidate as part of his endorsement. I'm thinking to myself, that is a party's money. That's not your money. Why don't we take that money and donate it to causes that are currently in need? Job programs, parenting programs, health programs. It seems like all the candidates currently want to brag about how much money they have in their campaign. Oh, we got 60 million, we got 30 million. I'm sorry, did we fix the debt ceiling and I just wasn't aware of it? Or did we come up with a whole bunch of money so we don't have to close down Congress and all these other offices? I always think about Social Security, health care, the Veterans Administration. I think of all this stuff that needs money every single day in the United States. We've got an unemployment rate that's close to 9%, and we had $12 billion in natural disasters last year. So I'm thinking $12 million, that might be a small amount of money in the scheme of things, but not to a mom of 3 kids who's on food stamps, or not to a vet who doesn't have his leg and he sits in a wheelchair in a corner trying to borrow money or beg for money from people that he doesn't even know. There's definitely programs where all that money can go in. So what am I trying to say? I'm saying don't give your money to a candidate just so they can be self-serving and put ads on the television just to badmouth another candidate. Personally, I don't think I want to pay $60 million or $80 million or whatever it is that these guys collect just so they can get in office. You know, a few years ago I had a job in San Francisco. You know how I got that job? I applied for it. I didn't ask for any money, and I got the job. So I say that if you want to give money to a candidate, why don't you give it to a candidate that's already in office? In fact, why don't you mail it to your current congressman and put a little note, hey, I want this money to go to this program. Don't give it to somebody who's looking for a job. And I got news for you. When this recession hit us 4 or 5 years ago, you know who didn't lose their jobs? Politicians. They didn't lose their job. They didn't get a cut in pay. I didn't hear anything about that. In fact, I saw Time magazine articles where people were having meetings around really expensive dishware with $5,000 cufflinks and things like that. I don't think I want to give my money to somebody that has $5,000 cufflinks and eats on a piece of china that's 200 years old. Excuse me, I want to give it to a hardworking American who has my interests in mind. And here's another thought you need to absorb as you decide where your campaign contributions are going to go. You really think as the little guy that you donate 20 or 30 bucks to a particular candidate that it's going to do anything for you? No, because when he has those $10,000 a plate dinners, he's got to suck up to all the people that bought the $10,000 plate dinner, and the little guy who donated 30 bucks, you're just cash in the pocket. That's all you are. And now I would imagine that some of these candidates are thinking to themselves, well, if I don't have this campaign money, then how am I going to get the word out about who I am? Just like I am. You know, I didn't even know who Congressman Anthony Weiner was until he sent out some dirty pictures of himself, okay? Look at all the publicity this guy got in 10 seconds on tweeting or YouTube or Facebook. We can reach anybody in the world via video, via Twitter, via all these social networking sites. So I don't necessarily think we need to give $60 million or $80 million to a candidate just so he can get a job. And then, you know what he's going to do after he gets that job? He's going to go to work for a little while, and then he's going to, make the rounds. And then the last year or so of his position, he's going to spend collecting more money so that you can reelect him. So basically, 1/3 of a 4-year stint is spent on collecting money so that they can get the job again. I know that my opinion sounds incredibly layman and maybe somewhat uneducated, but it's educated enough that I'm not giving a cent to one candidate this season or during the upcoming presidential election. In fact, you want to pick a new candidate for president? Why not me? I'm a typical American. I love American life. I love American people. And if I was elected to any public office, I would say, don't send me your money until I get elected. Once I get in office, send me your money and write on there, hey, Jackson, do me a favor, send this $30 to Planned Parenthood for me. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to lick the envelope, I'm going to send that $30 out to Planned Parenthood or to some jobs program or whatever it is you choose, and I'm going to make sure that you, as an American citizen, get the money to the right place that interests you, that benefits you, because I just think we spend too much money on campaigns. We have to watch these ridiculously pointed commercials that are self-serving and frankly they're incredibly negative, and oftentimes they come around the holidays. I don't really want to watch the Charlie Brown special followed by facts about Newt Gingrich's married life, because I don't really care about how many times Newt Gingrich has been married or any of that stuff. I care that if this person, whoever it is, gets into office, that they're going to do their best job at serving the lowest level, not the highest level of our American community. It's really important. You know, there's a lot of issues out there that everybody wants to focus on. One of which is, I don't even get, is how is it that men in all of the government are making decisions about abortion? Okay, I'm going to tell you where I stand on abortion. I'm a man. I'm pro-choice because I'm a man and I can't have a baby. So why would I take the rights away from a woman who wants to have a baby or an abortion? It's her body. We should stay the hell out of it, okay? Guns. I don't own a gun, but I'm not against somebody else owning a gun. You want to own a gun? Hey, man, rock on. Rock on with your bad gun self. And then, you know what else? Healthcare. I'm a vet, and in fact, this video filmed by a vet, a Marine vet, I'm an Air Force vet. And the healthcare system, it sucks, we all know it, but you know, for all of you out there that think you want a universal healthcare system like maybe they have in Canada and other places, you're crazy. Take care of your own self as much as you can, and you'll have fewer health issues that you have to put on the government the burden the government with. I don't want to burden the government with my problems, and for the record, I am a conservative liberal. My girlfriend is a liberal conservative. So there's proof right there that the two parties can, you know, get together and work it out. That's what I'm talking about. You know what else? Stem cell research. Why is everybody against or for? We should be for stem cell research. I read recently an article in Time magazine about the guy who had HIV. His stem cell program that they used with him got rid of his leukemia, and he has been without HIV for many years now. Now, that's all I got to hear. That's all I got to hear is that one person got rid of that disease, and there is no question stem cell research should be on the front burner, not the back burner. Muslims. Let's get into religion. I say let's all get along, okay? I'm going to pull a Rodney King and say, why can't we all get along? The reality is, everybody's got a right to their religion. You want to, you know, get on your knees and pray to the east, or, you know, you want to cross yourself as you get into the pew, I got no problem with that. Why don't we work on trying to be friends with all these Middle Eastern countries instead of, you know, immediately chastising every one of them or thinking that they're all terrorists, okay? My brother is more of a terrorist than half the people I've met from the Muslim community. I've met a ton of people from the Muslim community. They're kind, gracious people, good neighbors, okay? So that's how I feel about the Muslims. That's how I feel about healthcare. That's how I feel about guns and women's rights and stem cell research. And you should be looking for a candidate that isn't so stringent and so closed-minded that they absolutely have to have your views. You should want a candidate that has open views, has an open mind, and isn't just opening their hand to get your money. Because that's not what it's all about. It's about the American people getting good jobs, being happy, being able to walk to school with your kids and not worrying about a white van pulling up and picking, you know, stealing your kid or any of that crazy stuff. And I don't want to get off point here, but the reality is simple. This country needs money and it needs jobs. Candidates that are trying to get a job, that already have a job, they don't need 20 million, 12 million, let's face it, Herman Cain, wasn't he kind of a wealthy dude already before he had all this money donated to his campaign? Why don't you spend your own money on your campaign? Open up a YouTube account. Open up a Facebook account. Start sending your videos out like that. Let everybody know what you're all about without saying, gimme, 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 gimme. How about, here's a little bit. Here's a little bit from me. Because that's who I'm going to be looking at. As a conservative liberal, I haven't signed up for any particular party yet. I don't know if I'm going to vote for a Republican. I don't know if I'm going to vote for the Green Party or the Democratic Party. I want to know who's got Jackson's best interest in mind as an American citizen. I'm an American citizen, and I'm a good American citizen. So I want to know who has my best interest in mind. Who's going to be driving the bus down the path of glory, not into another recession or more debt ceiling problems, and hearing about how my kid might not have a Social Security program by the time she's older. Okay, I got a 23-year-old daughter. If you don't think for a second I worry about her health care, her Social Security benefits, is she basically right now working her butt off at a job and paying into somebody else that is getting her money and she's never going to see a cent of it? Hey, let's work on that. Let's work it out. So, in conclusion, I just want to say there's a lot of good Americans out there that don't need to be throwing their money away to a candidate, which in fact is just a party. When you give your money to a candidate, you're giving it to the party. So, if that candidate that you tried to get elected doesn't make it, I think that money should go back into these programs, back into the system where people really can use it and really benefit from it. That's my rant. My name is Jackson. I really appreciate your time. Please make a conscious decision when you vote for our next president and/or your next candidate. Thanks for tuning in.